What the idea first struck you when we were doing that when we were in hell having the chase, right? Or something like that?
Um, Something like that. I was really heavily inspired by the song itself,
Hmm.
It,
but I also knew Norallie was coming back, so I was like, oh, I want to do something special.
if I
Yeah.
end up playing that animatic, uh, I have not heard the song. Am I going to get spanked for DMCA with the song, or
Um, I don't know 100% because it's made by a YouTube creator. I didn't get copyrighted,
okay?
but I would say probably don't record that part of the
Yeah,
stream.
It it probably won't be a copyright strike. It would be a claimed revenue on
okay.
at worst it'd probably be claimed revenue on the song for the whole VOD. So
Oh yeah. Well, at some point,
that's if you monetize on YouTube at all. So
I don't, though. At some point, I probably should because the content that I make isn't necessarily. I'm not as worried as other creators might be.
mm-hmm.
But anyway, I digress. By the way, the YouTubes of the this and the others will be coming back in June at some point. I just have to stop doing everything else, and then I promise I'll upload. Especially if we get this like super duper connection,
Oh yeah,
I'll
'cause
just press a
that'll
button and everything will upload.
yeah, because if you're talking about like
Yeah.
fiber upload, then yeah, take advantage of that at the store and then upload everything at the store.
Yup. All right. Well, we have our 3 of 4 players and therefore 3 of our 5 characters. Why don't we slip into things here? Speaking of getting into it, so we had. Ooh, pardon. We had left off after a very long day. Everyone's low on various resources, spells or thinky thoughts, just bodily energy, maybe even patience, and it was finally time. You ended up coming back to the this like sanctuary. That's not quite a sanctuary, but it is a sanctuary. Um, we have Fairy the Ghost, who is possessing her sister Selly, and they are around, speaking to each other. It seems because that's either that or just someone has just gone bonkers, maybe a little bit of both. But we have the rest of you who have come back and had prepared because they had hoarded like all kinds of like pillows and bed sheets and all this other stuff because of course they're gonna make like forts, or they just want to live comfortably. You got these three kids, eking out a living, and they don't want to like live in the sewer or anything. So it's I mean, it has all the graffiti, but the graffiti's actually kind of wholesome. It's kind of somber, but then again, it's comforting for those of you who've been exposed to any amount of Ouijasian religion in all of the lands of Mesotopia, especially Mesomasca. So it's almost sort of like uh, a weird comfort. Um, but anyway, yeah, we have you all, and before you all go to sleep, is there anything that you wish to say or do?
I think at this point all of us are just exhausted.
Yeah. Other than setting the alarm, not really.
Yeah, that's right. You set the alarm up.
And making sure that Celine's not going anywhere by giving her a kiss. She's not disappearing on me.
Yes. Okay. All right. It tingles. Um, it's
In the same kind of way?
huh?
In the same kind of way or different?
It's kind of a pins and needles feeling. Like your lips are are sort of becoming unnumb. They weren't numb to begin with, but yeah, it felt like it had a similar feeling to the first one when she sort of fell in your arms on the battlefield. I'm so weak and can't go on, especially because she was now very weak again and was having trouble going on. But if you give her a kiss, it started out with a kiss and it ended up like this. However, when you do this, she will ask you, if you do this, it might be weird. It might feel weird. Now, granted, you spent personal time in, there, and that wasn't, she didn't bring that up then, but you also didn't have, kind of a weird, tingly sensation that wasn't unexpected for the context of what was happening.
Right.
However, with her being so weak, she does ask if you're willing to share a kiss with her, because she needs to like re-energize. I don't want to present it. I'm sure that lethality piloting Selene would have different words to describe it, but it's pretty much, I'm going to kiss you, and it's going to feel weird, but I need to know that you're okay with this. Because she needs to feel like she needs to be energized again.
I would do anything for her.
Then, and the tingly sensation. There's a slight glow of blue, and as your kiss ends, after however long you would prefer, there is just a little glowy wisp that goes from your mouth to hers, and then things return to their natural ambient light, given any of the effects or abilities that you all cause, have, or produce, or something. You can see that she does go from not quite like a super porcelain look, but she certainly did look almost devoid of color. If we're the Chroma Company here, we have Selene. Not that she's always been kind of pale, except for the time in Aslandia.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, everyone out there, you might notice that there's a difference in the emotes between T Selene and T Skelene, and there's a reason for that. And Coffee was very detailed about that too. Anyway, I'm sorry. Side note, but she she just went almost, ghostly white.
Yeah.
She wasn't fading, she wasn't turning translucent or anything, but she definitely was very drained of color. When the kiss ends and there's that last little bit, her eyes will flutter open. I'm sure that she'll smile and have very sweet words for you. Run her fingers through your curls, and she does appear. She does appear rejuvenated. She has a blush to her cheeks that would match, what you'd hope she'd be expressing to you after such a fluttery time together. But she does actually look healthier.
Okay.
And she does. She tells you that she feels a lot better now.
So why are you here? You never explained.
Is this like in the public room, or is this like if you two are like going off to the side?
It can be in public. It doesn't matter to me.
Okay. Then I will answer that. Let me broaden the situation. I didn't know. I thought this might have been a quick pull aside for Norallie and Bright. You would see this. You would see this kiss happen, and I don't know if that makes you embarrassed or Twitter pated or oh someday, or whatever. You would see that same effect. There's that like little bit of blue wisp that goes from Mordecai to Selene. Selene's eyes do flutter back open, etc., etc. But this is happening in this area. Now, Fairy and Selly are off in a corner giggling to each other. They don't seem to have noticed, or if they did, they're treating this like,
Giggling
oh,
about it.
haha, look at look at them kiss. Do you want to reinforce Mordecai's question? Do you want to say or do anything before this gets addressed?
For me, probably not. I'm just gonna take a note of that, and I'll be sure to bring it up after they're done. Possibly in the morning. I'm pretty tired.
Okay. Then Bright, do you want to stick around for this conversation, or do you just really just want to crawl into a comfortable little place somewhere and curl up?
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do both. I'm gonna summon up Piggy Sue and have her, be somewhere where she can.
I'm too tired to eavesdrop. Here, Peggy Sue, do it for me.
All
And
right.
then I'll curl up and I'll listen through Piggy Sue until I fall asleep.
Okay.
It'll be like turning on the radio and listening, and then falling asleep, or maybe a YouTube video, or like a RPG VOD. Who knows?
Okay. All right. So we're gonna say Bright is gonna just kind of curl up someplace where it's cozy and comfortable and dark and quiet, if only so she can eavesdrop through Peggy Sue. Peggy Sue manifesting as a bird or as a cricket, or what do you want her as?
Yeah, she's a bird now.
She's a bird. Okay.
It takes effort for me to change it, so she'll be a bird until she.
Yeah, just not. Yeah, sorry, Peggy Sue, it's not today. I don't have it in me to. When you reach that point of exhaustion where like you just can't even be bothered to change one word in your spell, you're just like, I just appear and exist. Is this?
Well, changing the form is the whole 1 hour thing, and to just conjure up, but I can't change the form just conjuring up.
Oh, okay. All right. You win this one. I thought you were just going for maximum lazy, which is fine because that is how dreadfully exhausted you are, and I wouldn't put it past you. But all right, fine. So a little bird flaps, and Norallie, are you? These two, I mean, they're tired, but it looks like there's going to be a conversation. Do you want to stay here? Do you want to go into a personal area? Do you want to go somewhere with Fairy and Selly?
I mean, if they're just standing out in public having this conversation, might as well listen.
Okay. Sure. So you can kind of boop, take a seat here. And I guess the professor, he's a curious guy. We'll keep him around. He will. Yeah.
I feel like if lethality was here, Cypher and Selene would just go at it in this whole conversation.
Oh, I'm sure it would just be
and the rest of us are just silent for half an hour, listening and nodding.
Yeah, this is yes, this is. Oh, and how about this? Well, yes, this and this. We agree. Very good. All right. So yes, I guess the professor will sort of lean against one of the statues here, or sit, but just kind of sit back and listen. Again, if you want me to ask a question that you think the professor might ask, if you're trying to plumb for a little knowledge, that's fine. I will. As we're down to lethality, I'll do my best. But the professor has always been inquisitive. Was informed about the fate of Selene, obviously, when he started hanging out with you all, and now that she's back, he'd have at least a passing interest in the shenaniganery that happened for this to come about. So don't feel like, this is totally metagaming. If you sincerely feel that the professor might ask something, or in other words, you're looking for an answer, because I'm also playing Selene, and I'm the one who might be able to give answers, then that's fine. We'll use Cypher. You're a warlock. You're a medium anyway. You're just you're a pass-through. So why not for your questions as well? Okay, so You ask Selene. I'm sorry. Can you repeat the question one more time? I completely just fell out of my ear.
So why are you here? You never really said.
I don't know why exactly. I just know that there were souls in line passing through the gates. I was standing outside the gates, as that seems to be. I could never go through them. And then, for a moment, the line stopped, and part of it reversed, and I went with them. When I gained consciousness, I apparently had dug myself up out of the ground and was wearing this dress. It was very difficult to remember much because I was very tired, very hungry at the same time, and I felt drawn to that park. And I wasn't the only. Well, I'm not undead, but I know that many undead had been drawn to the park as well.
He was drawing them there. Like he was absorbing them too.
Yes. Well, I guess that could have happened to me. So thank you, Mordecai, for saving me, and of course to the others. And she'll look around at each of you. I very much could have just been Raphael. I think that I came back as I did because there's a connection, Mordecai, that we share, and it's something that none of my notes really ever delve into. But maybe they should. I only ever really took physical notes on how muscles move and how skeletal joints rotate, and on the practice of how necromancy is a magical science with nuance, and yeah, and she'll delve into stuff that's in her book.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe there's something more to it all, something that I had overlooked with, well, my old pursuit. Do you still have my book, Mordecai?
Yeah, I do. Do you want it back?
Maybe temporarily. I'd like to look at my notes again, and especially if there's anything that you wrote in there. I'm rather curious. Is there anything in my book that I shouldn't read? And she leans in, like, kind of half expectantly.
No. No. Just kind of expounding and, maybe a song or two that might have been written in your honor. Like I do, because I'm a musician.
Yeah, well, I suppose if you didn't, then something would really have been wrong with you. So this whole time you were thinking of me and you wrote songs? Oh.
Even went to your old place and kind of had a funeral there too. Not just the ossuary.
I wonder if that's somehow part of it, Mordecai. I never actually
You're
took...
the expert, not me.
I'm sure Cypher is just sort of like... excuse me, Dust. Sorry. And... Well, yeah. I'll take my book back for a short while, if only to review it, and I want to see what it is that you wrote, because there might be clues as to why I'm here and what I am, I think, that are in there, even if you don't know it. You've always been a very passionate man, Mordecai, and, well, I've always been, admittedly, rather clinically detached, the cold hand of science, if you will, breaking things down rather neatly, cleanly, without emotion or sentiment or attachment? Huh.
And he hands her the book.
She'll flip through it. She's not listening to you, but she is smiling. Kind of looking down. A little bit of hair falls in her face. She puts it back behind one of her stubby, pointed ears.
Well, it's time for sleep. The dawn's gonna be here soon.
Oh, yes, of course. She'll close it and kind of hop down off of the the rocky lounge chair. She'll hold your hand and look at the professor. Good night, Professor. Good night, Miss Selene. She'll look over to you, Norallie. Good night, Norallie.
Good night.
She'll look up at Peggy Sue. Good night, Bright.
I didn't even get a stealth roll.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know if you wanted it to just be sort of like a... No, if you want to stealth her out, that's fine, too.
It wasn't really
Okay.
strength.
Okay, all right. All right, yes. Sure. So, good night, Bright, she says to Peggy Sue. And, so Mordecai and Selene end up kind of going around the corner to, like, the bedroomish area. At least that's the area where those stone sarcophagi were in process. And thus leaves Bright, Norallie, and the professor in the main room. Ooh, pardon. The professor will stand up, excuse himself, and he'll he will go and give a, like, as Mordecai and Selene sort of seal themselves into, I don't know if you want to seal it, but at least lay down in one of these larger sarcophagi. He'll go and lay down in another one, as gingerly and properly as he can. Bright, I mean, you're already in a hidey hole that's very comfy. It's filled with pillows and blankets and stuff. But if you want to get up or do anything else, otherwise you can zonk out, and that would leave Norallie.
I'm definitely here for tonight.
Okay.
I would like to talk to Fairy and Sally.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. So they're over in the corner giggling. The others are asleep. And sure, you come over.
I'm gonna just sit down with them.
Uh-huh.
Hey girls, how you doing?
Oh, hi, Norallie. Oh, we're having a blast. It's like almost nothing's changed. We really miss Cal, but I think we decided that there's nothing that can be done, and Okay, well, that's kind of a lie. I know, Selly. It's not nice. Norallie,
Hmm?
and they're gonna scoot over to you. We're actually kind of sad. We don't know what we're gonna do without Cal. Have you ever lost a someone like him, like a brother?
Yeah, I've lost a lot of people.
What what did you do? You seem happy.
Well, uh, usually when I lose someone, there's at least one other person there for me. Um, but right now, I I don't know. I don't really think there's many people left for me. And then, so, mm, let me explain. Um, I lost my parents when I was little, but I still had my brother, and it was really good because, you know, yeah, we didn't have our parents, but we still had each other, and we made do. And eventually, we found Mr. Halver, and he helped me learn some magic. Well, I already kind of knew magic, but I didn't really know how to do it, and I kept exploding things. So he kind of just helped me, control it a bit. Um, but eventually, my brother left, but I still had Mr. Halver. But I I wanted to go find my brother, so I went to find him. And well, it didn't really turn out, and then I ended up losing Mr. Halver too.
Oh,
And yeah,
Bright
you
said
know,
something
and
that she knew Mr. Halver, but also
um,
knew Aggie.
yeah, Mr. Halver, he that wasn't his real name. He changed his name a lot, and yeah, I don't know what he looked like for you, but he was a red tiefling with a big gray beard for me. But he was probably also had other appearances because he could do that.
Yeah, that's true.
Um, so oh, I don't know if I can explain this, but he's gone. He's actually gone, and so after I lost Mr. Halver and all that, I didn't really have much left. Um, and these guys, they're kind of my friends, I guess, but it's not really the same as family.
N-
But
Noralei, if we ran away, do you want to come with us?
mm, um, I I don't know.
I talked with Sully about it, and I mean Sully's even younger than I am, and as long as I don't eat too much of her time, we can still grow up together, and we can still go and play, and we can live the life Mr. Aggie wanted to give us. I don't want to die, Noralei, and I'm scared. Miss Bright's really nice and everything. She will let me stay for a little bit, but in the morning I think they're gonna send me away, and I don't know what they're even gonna do with Sally.
I I know why they want to do it, but I mean, if Sully wants to let you stay, I think that we should let you stay. I mean, it's. I don't see why it's any different than Selene being here.
Yeah.
I mean, just because you died. Heck, I think everyone else has died here already.
Hmm.
I mean, Mordecai was vampire for a while, and Bright was like just a skull for a while, and Selene was dead for a while.
Then do they not like me? Why am I different?
That's what I'm wondering. You know, how is you being here with your sister any different than Selene being here? Any different than any of us not dying when we apparently should?
I I talked with Sally about what happened, and well, I'm kind of scared of them, Norallie. They they killed the man that Sully went to go find to help Cal.
I know, and we shouldn't have. He was trying to help. And, you know, we wanted to help, and I told him not to fight. Well, not that anyone listens to me, but,
Yeah.
you know, when you're younger, people just don't want to listen to you.
Yeah. We understand that. Well, I guess with the exception of Mr. Aggie or Halver, as you call him. I guess. Well, would Norallie? I guess we're kind of sisters, but would you be mad at us if we ran away tonight? Would you
No,
tell anyone?
is Peggy Sue still in the room?
Not overtly.
That I can see?
That yeah, not that you can see.
Um, I wouldn't tell anyone.
The only exception would be if you could tell Bright, thank you, but we're also sorry.
I know I could do that.
Before we go, though, I want to thank you for talking to us, because no one really does. And I think it's important that, well, you might know of something like this, too. And I also, I made a promise to, to show where the tunnels were that I went to. I don't know if there's anything you can do about it. And Norallie, you probably shouldn't go down there. It's a very dark, bad place. That's where I thought we heard Miss Mercury talk, and she said some very bad things about the goddess Ouijas. And after that, some things. Well, I guess that's when everything that outside started happening, and there was some bad things going on. But I can at least show you where those are before I go. So if you want to do something about it or find my body, it's icky to say that, but I don't know what I'd do if I saw my own, like, Norallie, can you imagine if you just saw your own bones?
Oh, I have. I've also seen people chew on them. It's not pleasant.
No, you haven't. Like, she leans in. No way.
No, she didn't. That is not what she did at all. Okay, so
That's what you did.
All right. Well, whoop. Selly, like her body anyway, hops down with fairy piloting, and tells you to follow her.
We'll follow.
And boop 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 boop. She goes over, and she goes, "All right, I think this is very tough because there's a door over here, like a grated door. It looks kind of rusted shut with a lock. I don't know if Selly ever really got the hang of this. Do you know how to pick locks by chance? I'm not judging you, Norallie, but
Oh no, I'm pretty good at that.
can you
Just check the lunch bags.
do you have
Thieves'
thieves?
tools,
Yeah,
stud space?
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Okay. I'm even willing to take the 25 because this is like you have all the time in the world. It's quiet. There's no pressure or anything. So with a 25, you're able to do what Selly's body isn't, and just kind of click. There's only a little bit of a squeak. It looks very rusted, like it would actually make a tremendous amount of noise or be wedged shut, but it slides open very easily. And as that happens, Selly goes in, and she says, "Okay, close that behind us, just in case. We don't want anyone to think something different. This might be a little weird, or maybe not. But I presume you're gonna close the door behind you."
Quietly.
And you begin walking down a short, dark hall that has another door at the end. And when you open it, there's a very familiar layout, a hallway with a lot of rooms. And as the door opens, you find yourself like you can look up and down the rooms. While we're in here, if you need to go to the bathroom, then and whatever, like you two can both say, the third one on the right at the same time, or something along those lines. And she'll look at you like, oh, you were here too?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Aggie's awesome abode. And at least that's what he called it. So you're able to walk and talk. He's like, and he said, don't go in any doors. Don't go any of these other doors. Only go in the ones that he told you. And we listened to him, except that one door. There's a lot of weird stuff in there, but it's probably. Let's just not talk about that. Yeah, Selly, I know what it looked like. It's fine.
Was it that one? She just points to like a specific door that she was probably told not to go into and also has gone into.
Fairy, yeah, well, Selly, like, stops, and Fairy, like, just kind of like, yeah, that, we just keep walking. And, whoops, let's just remove these two occupants right now. Woo. There is not a library with two suspicious tieflings sitting in it. Well, I mean, maybe there is now, with Norallie and Selly, piloted by Fairy. But you kind of boom, boom, boom. You come down the you come down the steps, and you're told that this is where we were told that we can read books and that we can think about trying to all be better. but maybe we should have done a little bit more than that. But just so you know, this is here. And I guess if you ever need a place to go, that you can always come here. And Fairy sighs through Sally's lips and well, I'm gonna miss it, but I know that I'm not alive, but I also don't want to be dead. And if Sally's okay with it, I don't know what they're going to do with our brother's body, but if he's already passed on, I don't know. Then I was never really good at reading books on religion. I'd talk to people who had the, who wore the robes and had the symbols, but anyway, I'm going to grab a couple things that I stashed here, though, before I take off. And she's going to go over, and there's some little hidey hole stuff. She's kind of going back and forth. You see that she climbs and, like, slips down a little bit, catches herself. Oh, Selly, I'm not used to this. All right, help me out, Selly. And ends up climbing to the top shelf and reaches her tail into, like, just a little out of the way place, and ends up pulling out a jar full of cookies and climbs back down.
So that's why they are.
We weren't supposed to eat in the library because it would make a mess, and Aggie always said that bugs might come in, that and also our hands might get greasy and make the paper bad. But well, I don't think I'll need all of these. But if you want some, then here, you can have this half jar of cookies. And her tail, like, slides. Like, she'll take some out, and like she'll get some parchment and actually put them down. And she looks at it like, oh, I guess that's right, that they do make them kind of greasy. But she'll fold it up, and then she'll use her tail and push the jar of cookies over to you.
I'll accept the cookie bribe.
All right.
Don't tell anyone. Here's a cookie.
Yeah. Now, there's a couple more things that I need to grab once we're out of here. One of them, boop, boop, boop. Well, I'm going to grab this, and she pulls 2 books down and comes back. Cal never kept a personal journal. At least he would make some scrawlings on the wall like what we were taught. But this is my book, and this is Sally's book, and I want to take these with us. But okay, so now I got to show you where the catacombs are. Whoops. And do. I'm just having a poor luck here. You come back to you exit from the Aggie's awesome abode and back out to the hovel here, and she will come over here and collude with you as she will draw a map on a piece of paper with a pencil that she took as well, and she'll tell you, okay, so here's this, and you got to watch out because it gets kind of steep. And there are actually things that you're pretty relatable to, just in your own comings and goings throughout the city and whatnot. And for the most part, the map is really solid. She can describe little, like, inconveniences even to kids. Not like, in an adventure I can survive falling 20 feet to a pit trap. Not that there's pit traps, but there's, there's just things that could trip you up. But she says when you get to this point here, you really have to be small to go through. Like, if we kept growing too much bigger, I don't think we would have been able to slip through. But if you get through this crack and you really got to crawl and wiggle, I don't know. I don't know if anyone, maybe except Bright, might be able to do it. And no offense to Selene, but I don't think she could fit through. But you and probably Bright, if you, because you're not wearing any armor or have any big stuff, and you could just wiggle through. But if you're brave enough to go through, it does end, and it'll drop you out into these tunnels here. And I don't remember too much about the way that I went, because it was kind of new but also scary, and I ran a lot at the end there. But anyway, this is how you can get there if you did want to go. If not, I totally understand, and that's really up to you all. I don't know. You all should probably leave too. Things are just bad everywhere. And I don't know, Norallie, if you're with bad people, then I don't know. Maybe you can make a difference. Maybe you can be their Aggie. You have magic, and I know they do too. I guess that point's kind of lost. But maybe you could somehow be someone good that they need. And not like a Miss Mercury. But, alright, well, I guess... Bloop, hops
Are you
down.
ready to go?
Yeah.
Here.
Mm,
I'm gonna do something, and you're gonna have a minute. But you should be able to get pretty far, and, you know, just try not to run into any trouble.
oh, okay. Okay. The spell manifests, and go ahead and roll a d20 for me. Okay. The spell, like, you cast the spell. Maybe it was just eager in earnest. The spell manifests, and Selly's body just almost like chihuahua quivers, like just ah! And you get a you get a nod, or like a hug, a very quick hug and a nod, and woo. Sally and Fairy run off with their little like runaway, you know, bag on a stick. You know, the supplies that they figure that they'd need. Okay. You cast the spell, Norallie.
I'm gonna go to bed.
Yeah. And do you want to crawl into a sarcophagus? Do you want to crawl into a little hovel over here? Or what would you like to do?
I'll go into a hovel.
Okay. Boop, 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 boop. Oh, I should say, when you were going down the hallway with all the doors, there were many doors that looked rather dangerous, as they did appear to be closed but also on fire. And while not being consumed by fire, it's no good. All right. So Fairy and Sally run off with their boxcar kids little sack on a stick, bloop, and you go to sleep. You all are not going to get attacked by monsters, fortunately enough. At some point, though, I need Mordecai. I need Mordecai to roll an insight, please.
Okay. Not the greatest set. Oh, but that's a crit.
Oh, that is. That's a 21. Interesting. but that is higher than yours with also a crit. Okay.
It seems unfair.
Maybe,
I know.
but you know, at some point, because you know what, you actually have to do this stuff again if you get up in the night because you got to relieve yourself, or your just mind is you know, everywhere or whatever. You do wake up from your sleep, and you did sketch out that very nice scene where Mordecai was, you know, was laying down with Selene and was sort of gently asking questions and whatnot. So, you know, if those things are on your mind and effectively that scene plays out, it does. Or, you know, you come back from getting up and stretching or doing whatever, using the chamber pot, or finding a snack because you would have been told somewhere in the hovel where they do keep some, you know, like breads and cheese and stuff like that. Regardless, you return and Selene is there. She's very peaceful, and sleep can once more befall you. Dream about what you will, Mordecai. They are your dreams, and your body finds a good night's sleep. And in the morning you will wake up and be... I mean, you're probably all still... In a broad sense, you're probably still going to be rather sore and you know, tired, but you're not going to be mechanically exhausted, and you'll get the mechanical benefits of a long rest. But it was a hell of a day you all had.
Yeah. We're probably waking up somewhere, what, close to noon?
Yeah, that day took about a month or so. The... Norallie, you're zonking out pretty hard, aren't you?
I guess.
Okay. With I don't think you had any residual stuff like you always sleep with your back to a tree, or like you're always worried people are stealing from you or something like that.
Yeah, nothing like that.
Okay. Okay, no problem.
I will say that I probably have like one of my golden lions just in my hands while I'm sleeping.
Oh, sure, yeah. All right. Your dreams are your own. You will eventually wake up, probably well after noon. You'll be tired, need to stretch, will probably be very hungry or thirsty. Yeah, though you do have that emergency supply of cookies, if you need to delve into it. But yeah, you'll have all the benefits of a long rest. Congratulations. Bright. You are going to have visions like you usually do. So that in itself, I mean, the visions I think many people consider strange, but they're not strangers to you, because you saw three different realities in some sense play out in front of you, or something occurred that's the manifestation of your mechanical ability to divinely or to divinate roles with your recharge. Your dreams though, beyond what I guess it is that you, well, I don't know, what do you, can you tell us, like, what does Bright have normal dreams, or is everything just always, is her brain just always on, where she's always considering a bunch of different stuff, or what?
I mean, it is, but that doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the with the divination.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So it's just like, oh, what happens if our knees were on backwards? Okay. All right.
Yeah, I mean, wouldn't that be interesting? I mean, what if we had 5 fingers? That'd be crazy.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be gross. I'm not here to run a body horror. I don't have the mature tag on. Okay, so yeah, your mind wanders. Amid the wandering of your dreams and the mechanical recharging of your portents and whatnot, interwoven into those, whether it's with the rolls or just with your normal dreams as you're contemplating, what would things like what would the world be if our knees were on the other side of our legs? You would be getting weird little glitches in your dream. And as it continued to play out, you would find that you would be getting some sort of a I made the joke about the fifth finger being body horror. Well, not necessarily in a horrific sense. As you're imagining the kneecap just sort of like going around the other side of the leg, for a moment there would be a familiar face that would show up and sort of like be the kneecap and say, "Help us, Bright. Help us," and then sort of go back to being a backwards kneecap. It wasn't like super gross. I mean, it's probably disturbing, but it's not like super gross with how it happened. There wasn't like blood spilling out or, like weird eyeballs on stalks or anything. But it was the face of the wife who ran the stationery shop that you'd usually buy your inks and paper from.
Oh, you mean it back in Huck?
Yeah, back in Oct.
Was she a gnome or a human or something else?
Gnome.
Okay. Well, no, that's interesting. Huh. Okay. I'm not sure how that's immediately actionable for me, but I'll keep it in mind.
Probably not for another 4 to 6 hours. But yeah, little like bloops like that would show up in your dreams. And if it's not like a face that's manifesting as a kneecap, it would be something where, as you are walking, you're walking through town, and you're looking at all the shingles that shops have out, and the next 3 shops down will simply say like, "Help me, Bright." It's written forwards, so your dream reads it backwards, but because you can read all languages because you're a diviner, it actually reappears forward for you. It's a weird process.
Does it also say Burma Shave?
What's that?
Does it say Burma Shave?
Burma Shave?
Oh.
Oh.
I'll explain that later.
Okay. So you'd read this and you're like, oh, wait a minute, that... Because I mean, you're probably a little more polished a little back in the day, but you still at heart are a calligrapher, and you studied handwriting and everything, and these letters appear. You had a professor who had a really strange way of dotting his T's and crossing his I's, and that's probably why the T's were dotted, because his I's were crossed. And that's his handwriting. But anyway.
Was that a professor at the magic school?
Yeah. This would be... this is a professor that was always willing to give you a fair shake. Was aware that there was a reputation and really tried not to lean into the superstition, because there's got to be an explanation for everything. And that's his handwriting.
Okay. And he was a gnome too, I assume?
Yes. Unfortunately. I mean, yes, absolutely.
You mean unfortunately. I don't know how to
What? I'm sorry. I'm drinking soda. What do you say?
Okay. Okay. Well, it's not worth waking up for, because I'm still really tired.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. At some time you will wake up. You will have the mechanical benefits of a long rest. Your portents will load themselves into your brain. Though your dreams might not have been your own? Question mark.
My parts will load themselves into my character sheet.
Yeah.
Actually, I did that last week.
Yeah, last week. The professor.
Dreams of geometry.
Yeah. um. So as you all are getting up at your various times, I don't know if any of you are in a rush to wake up the other. Like if Bright is sleeping in a little bit, Norallie, I don't know if you're the type who's gonna go, Bright, wake up, or anything along those. Like,
Mordecai probably would actually be the first to wake up because
Mhm.
he has some things to do after preparing his spells and getting his armor on.
Mm-hmm.
Norallie's probably the last to wake up.
Okay.
No, I'll race
He's-
you.
Mordecai's actually going to spend a spell slot to cast Word of Recall if this place is considered good enough to cast Word of Recall on, which is this be the anchor point for it. I don't know if it's, attuned enough to be an anchor or not.
It does to an extent, but there's something. Your spaghetti's cooked, but it's not sticking to the fridge when you throw it. Like, the magic is happening, but it doesn't have that feeling of settling into the place. As you're it's there, but it doesn't seem to hook in. So the spell is present in a weird way, though it hasn't necessarily made this place the anchor.
Well, I've never done this spell before, so this is new. It's almost as if he's kind of writing teleportation circles, like glyphs on the floor, much like he would before.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like it's not sticking. Or like it's being rejected.
Roll an Arcana at advantage.
Cause it's 18.
Hey, that's better than that 4.
Yeah.
All right. So as this is taking place, it's going. The spell is manifesting. You still, like, the magic has been expended. It seems to be here, and you and Selene are working together here. And everyone's tired. But there is not a suspicious lack of the professor, but the professor isn't here to consult. But Selene is thinking on this too, and word of recall, it does require a sanctuary, and this place is it is a sanctuary, but it's perhaps not a fully dedicated sanctuary. There are relics. There are things that absolutely would be installed in ossuaries or appear in the sacred burial grounds beside these institutions, or would be decor. But there's not that. There is a representation of Ouijas, but there is not the presence of Ouijas. However, the spell has gone off, or is like at least manifesting, but it's having trouble actually finding the connection.
I would need
Or in this case, it's finding the attachment in a literal sense to this place.
So I would need a better anchor, is what I'm getting at.
Maybe. Hold on to that thought. As this is going on here. Because you and Selene definitely would have woken up. Bright is an early riser as well, or is Bright sleeping in?
Wright's racing Norallie to see who can sleep in later.
Oh, okay. All right. Then, all right. So the race is on.
That's 50% of a race.
That is perfectly fine. All right. So then, really, Mordecai, it's very quiet, and it's just you two thinking through this. I am going to have Selene. If I have this be... Okay, I'm going to do this. So you're there drawing and pondering, the magic is going off, and she helped make this observation, and as you're still thinking about your spell, almost in a sense, holding on to your spell, she says that this place means something, but I don't think it's meaningful to you, which is why the magic is having such a weird effect as it is. Maybe... Well, it meant something to Fairy and Selly. Mordecai, if you stay here, I'll go try and wake them up. I'll find them and wake them up and see if... they might actually almost be... maybe if we can... use them like a focus, or... use their sentiment, their words that are scrawled here as the anchor. That might be able to help it hold. So I don't know what you're doing, but keep it up and don't lose the spell, dear.
Okay.
And she'll get up and walk around to the other room, look around. She's going to look and see, like, Norallie just sleeping. Bright is kind of, well, at least on the map I have her sort of up and tucked away. I don't know if she wants to be high up or not, but
It wouldn't really matter very much to her. Mordecai's the one afraid of heights.
yeah. She's gonna peer in the little out of the way place that the professor tucked himself into, and is going to notice that he does have maybe some sort of like a shield up or something, but there are these sort of like shapes and plans that are floating around his body, and he's kind of twitching on occasion. Not like you know, his leg like shakes and he whimpers like a dog dreaming or something like that. But his mouth moves a little bit, and he just has these purpley symbols that are floating around his body. Selene notes that and comes back to you. Tells you after she's done this search that Norallie and Bright are fast asleep. The professor, does he normally sleep with glowing effects around him? Is that a protection spell?
Would I know that? I think I would.
Yeah,
If-
I mean,
if
with
we
as long
find
as you've been
together.
around him, that's never
Yeah.
manifested itself. So even if you didn't know, you don't not know, if that makes sense. But yeah, that would come across as abnormal to you, Mordecai. That
No,
he's
that's
sort of
not
twitching and
normal.
murmuring. And then Selene goes on to tell you, maybe they just went out for breakfast or something, but I wasn't, or they have a special place where they sleep. But I can't find Fairy and Sally.
They would run away, wouldn't they?
I suppose. It's a possibility that they ran away, or maybe they just went out. I don't know what they normally do in the mornings at a place like this. Probably they have to go and, get whatever they eat, or bread or something. Maybe they'll come back.
I suspect they won't.
I
Can't say I blame them.
I probably should have sent Fairy along then last night, while I had the chance to do so. I could have made it very quick and merciful. She wouldn't have known what would have happened.
The same argument could be said for you.
I don't think we're quite
You-
the same.
You get to be here, and or Fairy doesn't get to stay. It's hypocritical. Isn't it?
No, I don't think that it is, Mordecai. While I may not be immediately aware of it, I have a purpose for being here. I'm not here at someone else's creation. I'm not an undead that can be commanded, or that that has no reason to be still in this mortal world, when Fairy could have been by Our Lady's side. Maybe that's what differentiates us, is that I have a purpose. I'm not just a wandering spirit.
From the outside looking in, someone could possibly say the same, though. Don't get me wrong. I love that you're here. I just don't know how it's different. I don't know how we were right last night.
Mordecai, the undead shouldn't be. They're people who've lived their lives, and as such have earned a place by Our Lady's side. Keeping them wandering the world, it's not right. I studied you as you were a vampire. I was trying to find ways to not have to destroy you.
But you just said last night that the lady does not have any kind of distinction about whether or not an undead, a vampire, a ghost, a a, a lich, whatever that is, that all of it is fine.
In the grand scheme of things, I suppose at some baseline level, but there's a difference between the societies that we have and build and live in and equally natural forces like animals that cannibalize each other. It's not done, Mordecai, to just eat people, even though we have the capability of doing so. Just because we can do something doesn't mean that we should.
Is that why you got kicked out? You're a surgeon, but you don't practice anymore.
Yeah.
Why is that?
In an out-of-character note, I have not discussed that to detail with lethality, so I can provide some thoughts, but ultimately we might just want to tag this as lethality, please explain this concept. There are things that I can speak about, but I don't know the exact details behind that. That was something that would have come up over the course of the adventure, I presume.
Lethality didn't turn in a 3-page essay about their backstory?
No. So it existed, and it was certainly a hook into the world in a very broad character creation sent to DM for the concept review. But that's something that lethality needs to present, at least in whole, because I figured it would come up at some point, and unfortunately he's not here for the session where it comes up, and Selene might actually open up about this. But what
I suppose we should have this conversation at the dinner table. I'll go make breakfast.
Yes, thank you for. Yeah. Well, that's a very good question, and if others like this that require, I think, a more specified and especially like a personalized answer, why don't we drop that in our channel, and lethality can reply at some point in time, or if he doesn't want to type it out, it can come up at another time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she'll let's just say you gave Selene something to think about. She's quiet as you bring up that counterpoint, and you excuse yourself to make breakfast. Does that work?
We were wrong last night, Selene. You were wrong.
To destroy that vampire.
Yes. You were wrong. Because he gave you the answer you wanted, and you killed him. You can't tell me that that wasn't cold.
The vampire had infected the child, and you also had already taken. You also had taken up combat with him. You blasted him point blank in the face.
I warned him. We're both wrong then. It was cruel and insensitive, and it shouldn't have happened. If you don't feel remorse for it, then what are you? And that's when he walks away to go and prepare a hero's breakfast.
Okay. Sure. She'll think about that. Um, probably at a different angle than the one that we'd suspect, because this is Celine's mind. But we'll say she takes your question and she's putting it through the scientific rigors of do I or don't I feel one way or another? If not, why? And she's just sort of figuring out the logic chain to the reason why she does or does not feel remorse, and the causality of it. Whether it's something that she's always been this way, that this is a recent development, and if it's a recent development, is it through her personality? Is it because of whatever this process is? Could it have a connection with you and your own intense feelings? But yes, we'll just say that she's sort of sitting back, and she's you go to the little impromptu kitchenette that's in this hovel area to prepare things, and she takes her book and is very quietly and when I say furiously, not necessarily angrily, but she's furiously writing in it and drawing out little charts and plans and things along those lines. Well, let's see. Between the two of you who are in a race to sleep in the longest, Norallie was the last one to actually eat something. And so, at some point...
Bright is actually going to wake up first.
Okay. Oh, well then...
She has spells to learn, so she can't sleep as long as Norallie. But she's still going to sleep as long as she can, but she knows she has to wake up.
That dumb wizard responsibility. Sorcerers are so lucky.
I can sleep in for the whole 8 hours.
Sure. So you wake up. There's you can feel a palpable presence, like a magical presence in the air, and also the smell of food. That's may or may not be magical, but as you sniff around, there's that. You can study. Mordecai, if Bright is waking up but not necessarily saying or do anything to make herself obvious, are you just cooking, or are you muttering under your breath? Are you
It's kind of a little bit of both. He kind of takes out that gem encrusted, that emerald encrusted bowl or whatever, chalice that he had, and is preparing breakfast with it. One of the emeralds disappears off of it, and there is a sprawl of appropriate food for each and every person in the party for breakfast.
Okay. So let's see. Heroes feast.
So it's pastries and sweets for Norallie. It's fruits and veg of a breakfast variety for Bright. It is whatever the professor likes. Probably a fish, rice, and vegetable breakfast for Mordecai. And whatever Selene likes.
I don't think Celine's ever been a picky eater.
So there's a variety of other things for.
All right, there's that too. Bright, I didn't go there.
But yeah, Heroes Feast gives up to 12 creatures a meal, obviously, and there's several benefits. They're immune to poison and being frightened, and make all wisdom saving throws at advantage, plus 2d10 maximum hit points, which I've already rolled.
Okay. Um.
I imagine we're going to be going to a crypt in the next 24 hours, so I wanted that.
That might be. That's up to you all if you do. And especially because so the casting time is 10 minutes, but it does it takes an hour at any point. I guess when people start eating to just sort of like sit back and it like they might pop the donut in their mouth, but it still takes about an hour for it to sort of suffuse their bodies. So it's a brunch that'll last. Yeah, it'll last for a while here. So okay.
Till about noon-ish or 1 o'clock the next day.
Bright, you get up, you study your spells. It does there is a smell of food. It only takes 10 minutes to cook, so Mordecai would have had the magical meal prepared already. But there's a bouquet of wonderfully scented fruits and veggies and other things that he thinks you'd like. And so eventually you can come sniffing out of your study area. As you do climb down from your bunk, boop, 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 you are going to see that Norallie is still soundly snoozing, and you are going to pass by the professor, who does have some strange, I guess, magical scrawlings sort of floating very close around his body. Not just in front of his face, but just like he's wrapped in sigils, and it looks like almost like a weird blueprint of something. And his lips are moving, and he twitches occasionally.
Interesting. Is it a language I recognize? I'm not using my divination power because it's a menu and I don't want to lock it in.
It is not one you recognize, no.
Okay. Even the script?
No, the script almost like it has to be some sort of language, you reckon, but it's not based on anything that you're aware of.
Just math.
Yes, Bright is not aware of math.
She probably knows a little. Maybe not as much as the professor, because that's not her specialty. But she probably would recognize mathematical equations.
Well, there is probably some math, and there's even some characters that you do recognize that are in there. A lot of it just seems like patterns or notations of some variety. But the professor's not like exerting himself. He still seems to be very like calmly laid out. His lips are moving, though he's not really speaking in a voice. He's not sweating, or there's no blood running out of his nose or ears or other orifices, so it's weird, but I don't know. You can intervene if you want.
I don't see the need to.
Okay.
I'll go into to where Mordecai is cooking.
Sure.
And I'll say, well, it smells. Oh, that part doesn't. Why are you having fish for breakfast?
I'm mesomasking.
Oh. Okay.
And
well, this part looks good. I like this. These oranges. These look nice. And
I mean, I eat a little bit of everything off of this table. It's just certain things don't agree with me.
There's banana custard. How did you get bananas?
It's magic.
Oh. Oh. You're doing the magic breakfast.
Magic breakfast. Exactly.
Why? I mean, are we planning on fighting someone today?
I was imagining we were going to the crypt at some point.
Well, we might. Do you think we're gonna be? Oh, I guess we probably should be ready to fight someone down there.
I want to do that soon. This city is overrun.
Yeah.
And
okay. Hey, where are the girls? Not Norallie, the other girls.
I don't know. I haven't seen them.
Oh, conjure up Peggy Sue and ask Peggy Sue to fly around and look for them.
Okay. Tweet.
It's a special effect. CGI. Very pretty. No. Okay. Why are you the only one in here? Where's everyone else? You didn't even bring Selene?
She's still preparing, I think. Besides, she's in a burial gown, and someone walking around in a burial gown might cause somebody to attack us, given how much the undead are kind of roaming around this city. I don't think it's uncommon. I kind of had an idea to go shopping. And then, you know, go take care of the crypt.
I mean, what do we need to buy?
Well, Selene needs equipment.
Oh wow, I forgot about those. Didn't we already get those? I thought we already got those.
They'd be ready in the
No.
morning.
Alright. I would have to go get our masks.
Is that a gnomish swear?
Yeah. We learned those swear words from the 12 Lords of Kobolds.
Yeah, she needs proper clothing and equipment.
Okay,
At least the
that's-
basic stuff.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, can't we get her something better than the basic stuff?
Well, that's my intention, but at minimum.
Okay. That's fair.
I don't know what all we're gonna find here, given that the city's overrun. We might only find basic stuff. But get at least that.
Yeah, sometimes the shops all close up when there's an undead horde. Which is obnoxious because that's when you need the shops the most.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe at least we can find an old man that says it's dangerous to go alone.
Yeah, there's that. Would be nice if this Aggie person still like, was around or something.
I mean, you know Aggie's Mr. Halver, right?
I think that was the assumption, but I didn't necessarily. There's nothing really proving that the two are the same.
Yeah, but there's an awful lot of coincidences.
Yeah. Norallie,
Why, I'm sleeping.
you know you can't resist the smell of donuts for long.
As soon as he says that, just right to the nose.
I know you.
She just rolls out of bed. Puts her lion in her bag.
And probably
You even got.
Fine.
pumpkin spice latte.
There's even Uckton chocolate.
Mm.
It's the best kind of chocolate. You know how Mesomaskin chocolate has that sour taste to it? Uckton chocolate doesn't, it's way better.
I mean, to each their own for their own tastes. I like Uckton food, don't get me wrong. Sometimes it's a little too sweet.
At least it's not like that as the Indian chocolate where they put spices in it. It's just spicy.
Like hot peppers? Who does that?
It's the Indians.
Ugh. But yes, it's breakfast. It's healthy, even though it's dessert. So, I'm looking out for you, kid.
Don't mind if I do.
You haven't seen Selly, have you?
Not since last night.
It's weird that they're not here.
You planning on making her breakfast, Mordecai?
I mean, I wasn't gonna let it all go to waste. I can serve up to 12 people with this.
Yeah, there's only 5 of us here.
Yeah.
I mean, we could all eat twice as much, but then we'd have to go back to bed.
Yeah, food coma doesn't sound like a good thing.
Oh, it sounds great, actually.
I kind of also wanted to talk about what happened last night.
Art, it was
A lot of
long
things
night.
happened last night. You gotta be more specific. It was a long night.
There was a lot that happened last night. Not the Raphael bit, the vampire bit.
What about it?
Something seemed off about that.
Like how a vampire would have found them while we were on the way?
Well,
Sally went to go get the vampire.
She did? Is that new information? I don't remember that part.
I think he said something like that on the roof, and also Sally told me.
and we need to find a place to bury the kid.
Yeah. So out of character, do we have the body? Or did
Yeah.
we leave it here? We do have it? Yeah. Right, we had
Yeah,
to bring it
'cause-
back. Yeah. Okay.
Because we did the burial ceremony on it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I can dig a hole and stuff for sure.
Is there a graveyard around here? Or we could put him in a sarcophagus.
I mean, if
There
we
is a
go-
graveyard, and there is a crypt under the temple.
Yeah. I mean, if we were gonna go down there anyway, we might as well bury him down there.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the graveyard would be nicer. We put him next to something nice, like a tree.
Put a marker down or something.
If we
Mhm.
can. Yeah, if we can.
But that vampire also seemed very, very hesitant to even bite any of us. I was in his arms for a little while there, and he made no attempt to bite me.
Because he was just there to help the kids.
I mean, it was bad luck that they picked a vampire to try to help. What if... I mean, if they just waited for us, we could have... You could have helped him. You do that now.
Well, they didn't really
Yeah,
know we
also-
were coming.
They didn't, no.
That's why it was bad luck.
I don't know. It just seemed wrong.
It seemed wrong to me. How much work did you... I mean, I know you used to be a vampire, so you might feel a little differently. But how much work did we put in for you to not bite anyone?
That's a good question.
Went through a lot of
You
effort.
worked so hard. And he bit that boy and said he was saving him, but he wasn't.
But in the only way he knew how.
Maybe it was the only way he knew, but it
Maybe.
still wasn't right.
Selene walks out. She has the red book tucked under her arm. She doesn't look morose or anything. She's She'll wish you all a good morning, and she'll be rather quiet, but she'll have the book tucked under her arm, and we'll just start eating at the breakfast buffet.
I thought he was hurting the kid, and then he stood in the way, and I warned him, please back off. We're clerics, we can help. And he wouldn't back down, and I don't think that was worth ending his existence. I don't know if there's a cure or anything, but
So
I don't
two
know.
people that have ever been cured that we know of, and one of them is you, and look what we had to go through for that. And it wasn't even what we were trying to do. It was a side effect.
Yeah.
And the other person, I mean, we never met them. Maybe it's just a legend. I don't even know.
Yeah, there's a legend about that.
Selene kind of grips the red book a little, like, tighter up under her arm. Not, like, suspiciously, but just...
Do you have additional insight into the situation?
Well,
I just have a sympathy for the cause, for I guess.
when, takes a little off. When, I
Is
saw...
that a jab at my cooking?
It's fine to me.
It's actually really good.
Yeah, maybe it was just it's a bad apple. Just throws it over her shoulder.
There can't be bad apples. It's magic food.
It is.
Oh. Yeah, I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Maybe that's just affecting... I'm sorry,
Wrong
everyone, if I
side of the
seem
coffin?
quiet or... Well... actually, it's that sarcophagus, sweetie.
Yeah, well, that's a big word. And what has been that fun to say?
The ultimate counter.
Ron said it's a sarcophagus.
She'll pick up something else and just start nibbling on it. When I saw the Fomorians, well, of course, I think I saw Ouijas. That's how I got the book, this red leather book that she's emblazoned upon, and it seems that she might be the one that overcame vampirism. I mean, I was working on a way to try and fix you, Mordecai. Again, and I don't know if this makes it awkward for, like, Bright or Selene, but she's like, again, what we were talking about before, I didn't want to just end you. You could have led to amazing discoveries and helped a lot of other people. But in this moment, the child was in danger, and as she's saying this, you all are getting that feeling that, like, this is probably... It's two clerics fighting, but somehow there's still, like, a scab that was picked and a wound that hasn't healed between them. She's not getting, like, super, like, catty or bitey or anything about it, but I'm sorry, just I guess coming here is exhausting, and I've been doing a lot of reading and trying to understand that I'm open to making mistakes. I need to know if I did, and if so, why was it a mistake, and how can I continue to pursue not making that mistake.
I think we just all jump to conclusions.
It sounds like you all had a very long day, and apparently I have too, because I haven't slept since I died back in the Fey Cave. I'm just as jumbled and confused as you all are. I want to give you... I'm so used to being the font of knowledge. And, like, she's actually now having, like, an... not a super loud outburst, but she's getting emotional here. I'm just so used to being the font of knowledge, of having the answers, of being in control. And now here I am. Mordecai, I don't know how you did it. How you handled your life after you died. I'd like to think, for this being day 1, I'm holding it together. But you all are going to have to excuse me if I don't have all the answers right now. There's still a lot of things that are fuzzy, still a lot of connections that maybe I can make. I just need time. I just need to... And she stops for a moment as she says that. I need... What I mean is, I just need to study. I need to process. I need to read. I need to connect. And I also guess I need to... Crunch. She's eating a grape or something.
They're pretty good, aren't they?
I've had better. These aren't Aslandian grapes, I don't think.
Oh,
No.
they're Uctian.
They're Uctin and Mesomascan food.
Huh.
Actually,
You never had a problem with Mesomascan food before.
No. Maybe Mordecai, it's not an insult to your cooking, but clearly you haven't cooked this. You conjured it, and not all things created by magic are delicious. Especially if you yourself, as the caster, were in a sour mood, and so these must be your sour grapes, and I'm sorry.
it tastes okay to me.
And to you, Norallie, and yeah, they would taste as you'd expect them to taste.
Yeah, but Norallie, if they don't taste as sweet to you, it's because you've been stuffing your face with cookies. Which
I
are all
eat
good.
things other than sweets.
All
Just
of it
so
is
you know.
nutritious. It doesn't matter what you eat off the table. It is nutritious. It is going to be fine.
Puts down her second pumpkin spice latte. Pumpkins are vegetables or something. It's a third one.
And it's full of milk, which is healthy.
I just don't want to go leveling the wild cherry, okay?
Yeah, let's not do that.
I can save that for another time if something else just tips us off about that place, but I don't feel comfortable doing that.
Considering how exhausted I became after expending myself quite thoroughly, for now, I agree. I still don't think that having a haven for vampires is ultimately a good thing for anyone, including the vampires themselves. But for right now, until I know more, I will not raise the wild cherry.
Because I think that there's a bigger thing going on anyway in the crypt. And I really don't want to see my hometown leveled by undead. At all. And the ones that are being the attackers right now are the ones that are mindless. not the ones that are sentient.
The way that Selene says this isn't coming across to you as this is a purposeful slight. But she does say, if I have your permission, Mordecai, to destroy the undead in these ancient crypts, then yes, I will happily do that instead. She's trying to be earnest, but maybe that comes across as kind of like you're controlling or like you're her handler or something along those lines.
Professor!
No reply.
Professor! I'm gonna get up and I'm going to go try and shake the professor awake.
Whoops. Zoop. You go over to
I
where he
imagine
is.
his food is like Shadow Harfin.
Yeah, it's protein. There's a jug of maple syrup. That's the drink. Like that's just the beverage.
There's breakfast.
As you approach, you see that he is covered in swirling purple symbols, diagrams, some sort of like plans or something. And his lips are moving, though he's not saying anything.
I kind of tap his foot with mine. Faster.
Mm-mm.
Do I've never seen something like this before in any kind of guard or ward or any kind of protection spell, anything like that. I've never seen this before.
Well, this looks similar to some of the things that he's done with his shield spell or the data read that he gives people. And there are other things, like, even in a sense, is this somehow like a mage armor? Is this just how his manifests? So there are things that can simulate it, but you've never seen something like this that would be entirely shrouding. Shrouding. That it's not that it's out of sight. It's covering his body, with just like lines of something, of designs of maybe like a couple of them you read are like some numbers or words. But it doesn't come across as gibberish. You know, it's not like, oh, he must be dreaming of pancakes, as I see pancakes floating, over his body in purple. But the tinkerer soul inside you, though, does seem to be, you're like half reading these plans, but it's weird because this isn't your style of planning. They're not your notes, and so they seem very disorganized. But there is some sort of a thing that's manifesting over him that would appear like some kind of a plan.
I go to shake him awake.
Okay.
A little bit more vigorously this time.
Okay, so yeah, just not tapping his toe. Hey, Professor. As he shakes, instantly everything just goes. And oh, Mordecai, I'm sorry. Did I? Oh,
You were sleeping like the dead.
Missed breakfast. Sorry,
Breakfast?
terribly sorry.
There's still breakfasts.
Oh, all right.
What was that?
What was what? And he's like crouching but scooting out of his little sleepy hole.
You were muttering in your sleep, not like audibly, but and there was that weird geometry thing that you do, kind of just hovering over you, just idly.
I
Plans?
I vaguely remember. I vaguely remember. I must have been more exhausted than I thought from the events of of yesterday, and honestly, the other ones leading up to it. This has been quite a whirlwind. No, I think I remember. There was an idea I had when I was in the Repentless. It was something that I was working on before Seltur visited me. Did she visit the rest of you too?
Briefly.
He leans forward to you, Mordecai. Did she visit you, or did she, visit you?
Professor, Seltur and I have no feelings like that for each other at all.
Good. All right, then. Yes, so, I was working on some No reason. Don't worry. I was working on some plans at a desk in my accommodations, and I've had those on my mind. Just the whole problem with the Sky Shatter Leviathan, and just trying to work through that, and maybe through a combination of exhaustion and just a very big brain. I just couldn't hold my magic in.
Do you have that problem often?
I don't know. But it would be very strange if I was outside of myself to watch myself sleep.
That wouldn't be weird at all,
Huh.
he says sarcastically.
Yeah. And he's thinking, Seltur didn't mention anything, so... Apparently I haven't. At least not that the few people who've observed me sleeping have noticed.
Seltur's observed you sleeping? Did she visit you? Or did she visit you?
Ah! My dear Mordecai, it seems that we're
These
speaking...
sure are good oranges, aren't they?
It seems that we're speaking the same language. She and I had a
Yep.
negotiation.
Say nothing more. And he goes back to the dinner table.
It's everyone at the table knows what's going on.
Yeah. Bryce just like staring like, 100 feet beyond the orange she's peeling. Just, this is a good orange. Oh, Bright, your mouth is over here. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh. But yeah, so he'll come over. He'll go and go to the latrine here. Come back. But anyway, I'm very sorry if any of you were put off by apparently my my sleep emanations. I assure you, nothing is out of sorts.
Your sleep emanations. Okay.
Yes.
Is that what we're calling that now?
It would make sense. From what you were telling me, I had magically bits here and there, and yes, and I was sleeping. I was emanating magic in my sleep, it seems.
Yes. Exactly.
He'll have the gauntlet like appear and kind of look it over.
This celery sure is good. You just spread some peanut butter on it and put a few raisins in. It's really good.
I like to put bacon bits on it too.
Oh, I can't do that.
Maybe something.
Bacon tends not to agree with me.
His gauntlet disappears, and
I only really like it on the stuff.
anyway, I'm sorry I missed out. It seems that I missed the creation of breakfast.
It's still here.
And
you can have it.
Have you discussed what we're doing? I believe there were several ways forward that we were planning on taking. If you'll excuse my reach, Miss Selene, I'm going to grab this celery over here.
I think we're going to go and get Selene some equipment and kind of stock up on things and then maybe tackle the crypt.
Yeah, we need to get our masks too. Although I wasn't planning on wearing mine into the crypt, but we still need to have it.
For out and about, yeah.
I suppose you might, depending on what happens after we leave this hovel. For however long we've been out.
I mean, it would be rude to not wear a mask outside.
Yeah, culturally it's appropriate.
That's if there's a culture remaining outside.
Don't say it like that, Professor. Please.
I'm trying to be tactful, but there are things to consider. And right now, none of us know what's going on beyond the twisting tunnels and the sideways and the crawl spaces that lead to this place.
And I understand that, Professor. However, I like to think optimistically about what's going on in the city. This is my home we're talking about.
Yes.
And if both of my parents still live here, then I would rather see it flourish somehow than think that everybody in the city's dead. So that's my aim. I want to tackle what's going on in the crypt because that needs to stop. Undead crawling out of their graves is not. And attacking people is not okay.
I happen to agree on that point with you, Mordecai. Perhaps we can find answers if we wish to go explore them. Where is Fairy and Selly?
We haven't seen them.
Oh.
They disappeared.
How?
I get the feeling that they ran away.
Well, I'm sure then, if they don't know where to go, the fountain is most likely drained by now. I suppose if there's a way that we could reduce ourselves and go down the pipes, or there's got to be other entrances to the mausoleums and the crypts and the.
I know how to get there.
And the temple's a good way.
Norallie, you know how to get to. Oh, I'm sorry. Was this your hometown? Did I forget that?
No, I'm from Mascapones. No, I just stayed up late and I was talking to Fairy and Sally, and they showed me where the crypt was.
Oh. All right. Excellent.
Showed you? You mean like they showed you the entrance? Or
Yeah.
like they showed you
Well, they showed me. Well, they made a map and they showed me kind of like where to go from here. So.
a map? That would be really useful.
Yep. I left it in my bed. Let me go get it.
And they left after you fell asleep?
Yep.
Huh. Are they going to return? Were they just going out to check on things?
I mean, probably not.
Oh. But what about their brother's body? Miss Selene, I believe, drug it back here, off of the butterfly.
Yeah, we were going to...
We were gonna like stop at a graveyard and bury it.
Yeah, but I mean they should be there for it. I mean it's their brother's funeral.
Well, we kind of already did the ceremony yesterday.
I mean, the problem is that the fairy can't possess Sully forever. So if,
Why not?
well,
If Sally lets her.
But that's also going to take life away from Sally.
no, I don't think it would shorten her life. I mean, I hope not.
Ghosts have to subsist on something like that.
No, I think as long as they're in a person, it doesn't hurt. It just keeps the person from doing anything. But the problem.
That means
I
that
mean,
Sally is a slave to her sister.
well, yeah. I mean, that's what I was saying. Is I mean, they have separate lives, and Sally needs. I mean, Sally's the only one who's still alive. She needs to. She needs to live that life. She can't spend her whole life just hosting her sister's spirit. I don't know if we stop whatever's going on in the catacombs. Maybe Fairy can move on.
I understand the sentiment. I ran away. But I'm back, I guess. And it's been a weird ride being back. But I can definitely understand wanting to run away from your feelings. And maybe Sally's accepting that because having lost her sister and her brother is too much.
I mean, she's only like 10 years old, so she won't really be able to handle it, and that's the sad part, is that she doesn't have anyone who can help her handle it now. Or help her. I mean, they'll be orphans, but the worst part is they'll be orphans on their own.
Yeah.
It's hard enough just being there even when there is someone for you.
I wouldn't know what being an orphan's like.
I would.
The professor pipes up, Norallie, is that why you're able to talk to them, or is it some sort of a resonance you had with them, given your shared tragic history?
I mean, yeah. I know what it's like to be on the streets. I'm technically still on the streets. I don't have anywhere to live.
All of us kind of do. Now. We're just a traveling band of misfits.
You know, this sanctuary or whatever, it's very similar to what I had. I mean, it wasn't a sanctuary. We didn't have sarcophagus, but, you know, stuff like that.
Sarcophagi.
Yeah, I'd be quiet. Big words.
The professor's kind of looking around, and well, you said you have a map, Norallie. Would you kindly fetch that so I can take a look and plan a route?
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to go and see if we can find some kind of equipment for Selene too.
I just mage hand because I left the map over in my bed because I don't want to get up for breakfast.
Because yeah, walking around in a burial gown is not exactly ideal, I don't think.
Oh. Yes, well, hopefully what the professor said is not true. She's trying to figure out if she's, like, saying the right thing, where there's still people on the other side, and things are going normally. And the little map, woo, 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 floats over.
And we'll find out after breakfast.
The professor opens this and is starting to go over this. He is going to do a thing with a button. All right. So he's going to start looking this over, and Mordecai, Selene is Selene was like pecking at a couple things, but she sets them down and looks at you, and she calls you like, can we talk around the corner, please?
Mm. And I get up to go talk with her.
If the children don't come back, and I'm trying to work on seeing things in a different way, and I can understand that Fairy would be scared of being put to a final rest, even though it means being at Our Lady's side. I understand that she would run away. That would mean, though, that to make this place sanctified, we might have to... What would be the right word? I don't want to say use, but at the same time, we might have to use Norallie as a focus, or as a substitute, because she seemingly has a resonance with not just the ghost, but even the living sister as well, and their lifestyle and the man who brought them up. I don't know if there's a way somehow that through or with her you might be able to finish that spell and attach it to this place. But I remember what it was like to have access to Mr. Halver's home. And if Norallie's telling the truth and this place is like that, this wouldn't be a bad place to be able to, as safely as possible, return. But I noticed that she set down her cup a little bit there when she was talking. I think this is a very sad topic for her. And I can try my best to talk to her if you think it would be easier. But I don't know if... I haven't figured out if I'm the same me that I was before. And even if so, we got along to an extent, but I think she'll have a better rapport with you, or... And I love you very much, Mordecai, but Bright might even be able to have a better conversation with her.
I mean, we tried the first night we were here. Maybe.
Oh, this was in a side room. Now, if you're eavesdropping, that's fine.
Oh no, I wasn't. I thought it was.
Okay.
I thought it was them, like at the breakfast table.
No. She discreetly pulled Mordecai to the side
Okay.
to have that conversation.
Never mind.
But meanwhile, back in that room, while they're saying that, the professor is going over this map with you here, Norallie. Norallie, did you said that Selly or Fairy or whomever was drawing the map? Did they run out of charcoal in that pencil here? Why does it get very narrow on the map here?
No. Right there, it gets really small. So Bright might be the only one who able to fit. I could try, but I also have really big horns and I'm taller than I used to be. So I don't know if I can, but Bright should be able to get in there.
I mean, there's lots of ways to fit people through tight spaces. I can debigulate people, or I mean, we could always.
We could debigulate.
Yeah, debigulating.
I can debigulate people. I know how to do that.
Excellent. Well then, I guess prepare for that if we want to go through with this plan. There's just the 5 of us, although perhaps Bright only 4 if you don't need to debigulate yourself.
Yeah, I mean, there's other stuff too. I've got the arcane eye I can send through to scout out, or Peggy's who can go through. We have lots of things we can do.
Very well. All right. I believe then... Oh, there's, I guess there's the matter then of Selene. Those two have been talking for a while. Maybe they're... I hope they're not talking about a fashion. Honestly, I understand Mordecai's concern, but I think that we actually need to be prepared for whatever lies outside this tunnel and that movable pile of rubble. It's been however long we've been asleep, and I'd like to think that between the military, the Shadowheart military, and whatever forces the city has, that they've been able to secure things, but I don't know. But that also means that Mordecai might become very fragile if he sees things on the other side that would counteract his optimism. And the professor's like trying to choose his words to be civil, though he's still being rather just flat about it. Should I go get them? They've been over there talking. Unless Bright, you're
They're probably
Norallie.
making out or something.
Oh, well, it's nothing that I can't handle then. Norallie and Bright, you stay here, and I will save you from such a horrendous scene.
I mean, it's not that bad. Although I am curious about that whole blue sparkly stuff that they have going on. That's probably not good.
Yeah, that's not normal blue sparkly things.
Yeah, it's really not.
Like I have blue sparkly things all the time, but yeah, that's a different blue sparkly thing.
Yeah, that's normal for you. It's not normal for them.
Yeah.
My dears, I wish I could even tell you what normal is anymore.
Sound of feasting horn.
And he'll excuse himself from you two before going around the corner. Back before the professor does round the corner to walk to the other room here. Is there anything, Mordecai, that you still wish to bring up with Selene?
No, I don't think I have anything more to ask her in the moment.
Okay. Well, so if there's nothing that's like battle plans or deep philosophical thoughts of, you know, who are we, what are we, is what we're doing right or wrong, then she'll say, well, yes, let's go. I wouldn't mind a quick shopping trip. I could certainly use a change, and
Yeah, that dress is 10 years old. 12.
yes,
And has been in a crypt.
yes.
I'm not sure still how exactly to feel about all of this.
If you wish to keep it, then I am happy to give it to you. Like she actually, like, she doesn't really know. It's a meaningful gesture, but she also doesn't want to, like, send you over the edge with sentiment or even make you kind of go, ugh.
You don't have her memories, do you?
No, this is, besides my bones, it's me, Mordecai.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Because it would
But
be
I would-
really weird if you were both Corinna and Selene, and I don't know what even that would be. So
I like she'll come close and she's, Mordecai, I assure you, if I start having strange ideas that aren't mine. Okay, let me rephrase this. If I start having thoughts that Corinna might have, I've always been one to have strange ideas. I will let you know. But for right now, I have the things that I know. I have my love for you. I have my divine connection to Our Lady. And I certainly have a need to change into something else. And I'm sure that you would agree. And there's a moment where she'll take your hand and, she's going to give you some advice on the type of dress that she'd like, or she'd like you to help take her measurements to make sure that her body is back in a state that she remembers. And just as you are giving her some personal assistance in measuring her cup size, that's when Professor Cypherius rounds the corner. And, excuse me, well, all right. I will just be turning around and giving you an extra moment. And then he... Whoop.
We're fine. We're going.
Are you... It seems like you have your hands full, Mordecai.
Professor? We're gonna go shopping.
Righto. Shopping it is. Whoop.
For clothing.
Yep, clothing.
Clothing and armor.
Selene looks over to Mordecai. I think you're talking more to me right now than you were to him. He's gone. It's okay. We'll go. I'm...
Cheeky woman. Stop you. And he goes to leave that corner because he's embarrassed and he's blushing profusely.
And so is
Oh,
Selene.
look, you're purple now.
Yeah.
Norallie, actually, I think I need your help with something.
Can I wait till after breakfast?
Of course. I
Okay.
have a spell that would hopefully transport us here safely, but it's not connecting right, and I'm hoping you can help.
Well, I can try, but you can't. You know how things sometimes happen when I do magic.
Yeah. I'm kind of hoping for it, actually.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I don't know what could happen, but I only lit on fire once yesterday.
So what we're gonna do here, with the recon mission, going on the recon/shopping mission, with the need to sort of attach this spell that's still floating in here, and then making their way into these crypts. We're going to take a break, and we will come back in about 10 or 15 minutes, everyone. But before I go, I will say over the course of the hour, Norallie, with however many of these pumpkin spice lattes you've had, you've noticed that you aren't getting a caffeine buzz from it.
I mean, technically, it doesn't have caffeine because I didn't say it was made with coffee.
Oh. Yeah, but Mordecai conjured this up. What if he makes his strong? But anyway, that's a fun little nod to the fact that you can't be poisoned. So you don't have poison interacting with your neural network and making.
I mean, I already couldn't be intoxicated.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
I'm like super resistant.
That's right. I didn't know if that was like just against drunkenness or if that was. But yeah,
It specifies intoxication.
So you actually are pretty mellow. Yeah, you had a pretty good time there. All right. Anyway, let's get up and take our break, everyone. Go get snacks and drinks, etc., and so forth, and we'll come back and we got some more stuff to do, maybe some more things to talk about, and we'll continue. Also, enjoy the break screen, everyone. If you've been saving any bits, make sure you, if you use them then, you'll get a fun little surprise. Keep your eyes on Bright.